Hello my beautiful bookish friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am in front of my bookshelves, so that means we are doing my monthly TBR. So the month of January I want to dedicate to either finishing or continuing on in series that I started in 2019. So let's get into it. The first book I have has been backlisted for so long for absolutely no good reason, and that is the final book in the Kingdom Keeper series, book number 7, The Insider. So I have been wanting to read this book. I believe it takes place in Disneyland. By the cover it looks like it takes place in Magic Kingdom. This is the final book. It is a very thick book. I think it's over 600 pages, and I just want to get through this series. I've read all the other books in this series. I have enjoyed it very much. I usually fly through them, but for some reason I just have not been able to finish this. And I got the spin-off series too, so I want to get through this month to just wrap everything up and then start the spin-off maybe in February if I like the way this ends. The next book I have, I am a little bit weary going into because I did not like the first book in the series, but everyone says the series as a whole is much better than the first book, and that is Pandemonium, which is in the Delirium series. Delirium is a not post-apocalyptic but like utopia, dystopia kind of book, which is not my favorite, and I really didn't like the way it ended, so I'm hoping the second book will be much more in depth. Like the first one just felt very surface level. Hopefully this one is less repetitive and goes more in depth to the adventure that they're going on. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away spoilers, so I won't be saying too much about any of these books really, but I want to continue with this book and also Requiem, which is the last book in this series. And I was initially going to get all the other stories when I started reading Delirium, because there's a bunch of little novellas, but I was just super disappointed with that one. I don't think I'm going to continue on with the novellas. So I adjusted my angle a bit because the way I was sitting was just not comfortable, so I look very small right now. But the next book I want to read in January is The Vanishing Star by Maureen Johnson. I read Truly Devious at the end of 2019, or sorry, end of 2018, or in the spring, I can't remember, but I really enjoyed it, and I was waiting for this to come out in paperback, and it finally did. So I want to read this one and continue on with that series because I know the third book is now out, or will be in like March or something. So I want to make sure I read this and get through it because this is slowly becoming a really truly favorite series of mine. The next book, it seems a little bit out of season to be reading in January, but that is the sequel to Hocus Pocus. I read the first one in this bind up for the Spookathon read, but now I am ready to read the sequel, which is much thicker. It starts right here where I have my bookmark, than the original. I keep hearing that there is going to be a movie sequel of Hocus Pocus coming out, but then this came out and I didn't know if this is what they considered to be the sequel. But I hope it comes out. This is by Freeform Books, like the television channel, so I'm hoping that they are going to either do it as a show or a movie. The next book I want to read is The Witch 2. This is called The Disappearance. I read the first book in this series for Fantasy-a-thon, and this is like a middle grade, and I think it used to be an anime, about 5 girls who find out they are witches, and they all are elementals except Will. She is like the leader and has a different kind of power that she has to discover what it is exactly. But I really enjoyed the show as a kid, and there are some comic inserts in here that go along with the story every once in a while. So I have the first 4 books, and I know there are quite a few of them, so I don't know that I will read past what I have, but I did enjoy the first one more than I thought I would, so it's very likely I'll continue on with it. The next book I have is Escaping Houdini. This is from Carrie Maniscalco, and this is the 3rd book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I finished Hunting Prince Dracula, so I am ready to read the 3rd book, which is all about her and Thomas Cresswell going to America this time, which is really cool because I'll be a little bit more familiar with the settings. But they are going to be on a ship, and there's a magician on the ship who might be murdering people, but Thomas gets detained because they think he's the one doing it, and it sounds very interesting. So I am excited to continue on with this series and eventually get Capturing the Devil, which is the last one, and also getting the Thomas Cresswell story because I'm very interested in that. And the last two I have, I actually just recently got. As per tradition, my parents usually get me comic books for Christmas, and they got me the DC Rebirth Harley Quinn Volume 3, so I will be reading this month. This won't take me long to read it all, but I'm excited to continue on with the Harley story because I love Harley Quinn. And then they got me the 6th book in the DC Rebirth for Wonder Woman, so I will have the complete series and finish that up this year as well. So those are all the books I want to read for January. One of my big goals is to get through my backlist, and this is just the start of that. Plus I am now subscribed to Book of the Month, so I'm going to actually try and read all of those books in the month that I get them, but I already have 2 that are backlisted, so off to an interesting start. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.